Welcome to the world of math. I hope you find this podcast helpful as you explore polygons. A polygon is a closed plane figure made up of 3 or more line segments. Polygons are named according to the number of sides and angles they have. For instance, a triangle is a polygon made up of 3 sides and 3 angles. A pentagon is a polygon made up of 5 sides and 5 angles. Let's talk about the different polygons. As we said, triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. The quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. The pentagon has 5 sides and 5 angles. The hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. The heptagon has 7 sides and 7 angles. Octagon has 8 sides and 8 angles. The nonagon has 9 sides and 9 angles. And finally, the decagon has 10 sides and 10 angles. Each one of these polygons is a closed figure, and their sides are all line segments. Now let's go into a little more detail on the polygon called a triangle. As we said before, the triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. A triangle can be classified 2 different ways, by its angles or by its sides. Here's an interesting fact about a triangle. The measure of the 3 angles of a triangle will always equal 180 degrees. If you name a triangle by the measure of its angles, the triangle can be a right triangle, an acute triangle, or an obtuse triangle. A right triangle has one angle which measures exactly 90 degrees. The other 2 angles are acute angles. An acute triangle has 3 acute angles, each angle measuring less than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle has one obtuse angle which measures more than 90 degrees. The other 2 angles are acute angles. If you name a triangle by the measure of the lengths of its sides, the triangle can be a scalene triangle, an isosceles triangle, or an equilateral triangle. With a scalene triangle, all 3 sides have different lengths. No sides are congruent. With an isosceles triangle, 2 sides are equal in length. With an equilateral triangle, all 3 sides are equal in length. Another interesting fact about triangles: as we saw, triangles can be classified by their sides, scalene, isosceles, and equilateral, and by their angles, right, acute, and obtuse. This means that every triangle can be described in more than one way. For instance, you can have an obtuse triangle because it has one angle greater than 90 degrees. That is also an isosceles triangle because 2 sides are equal in length. Let's move on to the 4-sided polygon called the quadrilateral. A quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. We can see 2 types of quadrilaterals, a trapezoid and a parallelogram. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with only 1 pair of parallel sides, while the parallelogram is a quadrilateral with 2 pairs of parallel sides. A rhombus, a square, and a rectangle are all types of parallelograms because they each have 2 pairs of sides that are parallel. A rhombus has all sides the same length. A square has all sides the same length and 4 right angles. A rectangle has 4 right angles. So if you look at the description for these parallelograms, you can see some similarities. For instance, let's look at the square. It can go by many names. It is a polygon. It is a quadrilateral. It is a parallelogram. It is also a rhombus. Why? Because it has 4 equal sides, which is the definition of a rhombus. It is also a special kind of rectangle. Why? Because it has 4 right angles, which is the definition of a rectangle. Here's a tip. Remember we said a polygon is a closed plane figure made up of 3 or more line segments? Well, when you get that test and you see figures like this, and the question is this a polygon or not? You can answer, yes, it is a polygon, because it's a closed figure and it is made up of 3 or more line segments. These are what are called irregular polygons. Everything that we've looked at up to this point were nicely shaped polygons, which were called regular polygons. This figure is not a polygon because it must be a closed figure. You see where it's open at the top? And last, this figure is not a polygon because it is not made of line segments. Thanks for visiting the world of math. I hope that you found this podcast helpful as you begin your exploration of polygons.